Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you're located. I'm Mike with the Race Engine Shop, and I want to take a minute and make a quick video for you guys. This was concerning a thread that I saw on Beginner LS forum there, and it was concerning orientation of connecting rods and pistons and all that stuff. The particular rod in question, and I made a comment in there about pistons too, which I'm going to explain here in a minute. But the gentleman had a connecting rod that was like this. It's a Generation 4 LS deal, okay? And I've seen all sorts of comments about the dimple and everything. Well, I'm going to tell you, none of that matters. And here's why. This connecting rod has, I heard somebody say something about the chamfer on the big end of the rod. Okay, there's a little chamfer there. There's also one over here. It doesn't mean anything on these connecting rods. What's the important part, and I'll explain in a minute, is the bearing and the tang location, okay? So I'm gonna put this rod down for a minute. Here's an aftermarket connecting rod. Okay, this happens to be Eagle. Let me get it in the picture. It's an Eagle rod. It's out of a small block Chevrolet. This one is actually going in a 421 cubic inch small Chevy that runs around a dirt track. You can see on this one there's a little chamfer there, but that's not, excuse me, let me get the picture better. There's a little chamfer there, but that's not the chamfer. This is a chamfer. You see how big it is? That will face the crankshaft fillet. Okay, and what do I mean by the crankshaft fillet? And by the way, I want to say excuse the mess, please. I'm going to show you on this big block Chevy here that I'm putting together. The fillet of the crankshaft is basically right there. That's a fillet. This is the fillet. So where the journal meets the counterweight there, that's called a crankshaft fillet or radius. On aftermarket cranks, they are more pronounced. They're radius because a radius is stronger than, say, a 90-degree angle. Anyway, the fillet, or the chamfer, as you can see on like the aftermarket rod here, will always face the crank fillet. So if you put this rod in on the other side, because of the offset of the bank, the big chamfer will end up facing backwards. If you put these together and you face the chamfers towards each other, if it does spin over, you'll burn it up. It'll burn up real quick. And the reason that it'll burn up is because the oil can't escape, okay? And it'll just sit inside there and burn up. Anyway, pistons. I'm gonna make this quick because I don't want this video to be 8 minutes long. Here's an old, this is a LS2K diamond piston out of one of my customers' engines. We made over 2,000 wheel. We ended up breaking a lock or whatever. It was our fault, but it is what it is. The motor ran for 2 years, put another piston in it, the rest of them were good. Anyway, you can see there's no dots on here. So which way do the pistons face? Well, if there's no dots, it should indicate that they go whatever way you want. And that's true, but sometimes, and I'll show you in a minute, sometimes you'll have pistons that should have had dots that don't, okay? Or the dots will be incorrectly located. I've seen that before, so you should always measure the wrist pin offset, and the easiest way I've found to do that is to place a pin in the piston, grab you a pair of calipers, okay, stick them in here like this, and that's reading something in the neighborhood of 2-inch 520 thousandths, okay? Now if I go to the other side, if there is no offset, it should read about the same. Get up in there. 2-inch 520 thousandths, about. Maybe that's 19 and a half or 18 and a half. Whatever, it's really close, okay? This signifies to me that this piston has no pin offset, okay? So you can put it whatever direction you want. I got this piston out. This was one of the first customs I ever did. It's a Wiseco piston. It's actually in really good shape. We could recoat the skirts and use these. This one, as you can see, there's no dots anywhere on this thing, okay? But if I come over here and I measure this, I got 2-inch, 501.5 thousandths, okay? It's hard to see, but that's what it reads. If I come to the other side and measure, that's 2-inch, 540 thousandths. Do you see that? There's an offset. The pin is offset in this direction. So this one, if it's offset in this direction, that means the offset is this way. The offset always goes towards the major thrust. So what is the major thrust? As you're looking at the front of the engine, on the left bank, excuse my shaky camera, the major thrust will be this one. If you're looking on this bank, the major thrust will be here. Sorry, yeah, be here. So on the left bank, it's towards the lifters. On the right bank, it's towards the exhaust. That's the major thrust. So in this piston, if the dot is supposed to be where my thumb is, I can't put it over on the right bank because it would be wrong. It'd be pointing towards the minor thrust, right? So it'd have to go on the left bank. That is how you tell this is a foolproof way. There's no guessing. There's no dimples. There's no, you measure it, okay? That's the best way to do it. It's the only way I do it when I build an engine. And it's something that I taught myself, honestly. So there you go. Hope you guys have a good day. See ya.